All right, we're live. 1 second. I think we're, I don't know, right? It's still reloading. Oh, we're live. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Glenn Petriello, founder and owner of Chocotastery. And today we're live, going to be tasting chocolate with Jenny Samaniego from Conexión Chocolate. And so, Jenny, are you connected?
Yes, can you, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we're all
okay. Set. Yeah, okay.
Awesome. All
Hello,
right.
Everybody.
All right, so Jenny and I, we've met a couple of years back at the Fine Chocolate Industry Association. And so I'd love for Jenny to just share a little bit about her journey so you guys get to know what she's been doing, working in chocolate for quite some time, some exciting different adventures that led her to her own chocolate company based with using cacao from Ecuador. So Jenny, what brought you to the chocolate world? What's been your journey?
All right. Well, hello, everybody. Glenn, thank you very much for this opportunity to having me here. And yeah, so about Conexion, how it started. Pretty much it started with me. I traveled few years ago to the US. I came in a cultural exchange, and my background is in hospitality. So while I was a couple of years in Florida, I moved to New York to work in a specialty food company doing sales. And through them, I get the opportunity to meet Anthony Bourdain and his sous chef in the restaurant Leal here in New York.
Okay.
So this company actually, I mean, this restaurant and Anthony actually were the people that got me introduced to their chocolatier or chocolate maker at this point, at that point actually, that they used to supply him the chocolate. So he was Pierre Showert from Vintage Plantations Chocolate.
Okay.
And yeah, so through conversations with them, they mentioned to me once that Pierre was looking for somebody to help him in a chocolate making part, and that he also needed somebody that oversees his company and as well source cocoa beans from him. And his main focus at that moment was sourcing cocoa beans in Ecuador and also importing them to the US and making the chocolate over here. And that's how I actually get involved in chocolate. Not not too far from that, I got an interview with Pierrick and I started collaborating with him for 4 years. Yes, so that's how I get involved in the chocolate making, and I just get in love because at that point I was able to understand that you know how important is our Ecuadorian cocoa for the world, and also how important are the flavor profiles that the Ecuadorian cocoa has and how different they are from all the good cocoa there is out there. So also the part that really connected me the most and made me to love to be in chocolate was the fact that I got the opportunity to work directly with the cocoa farmers. How important is our Ecuadorian cocoa for the world? And also how important are the flavor profiles I'm listening to myself.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just moving.
No, no worries.
Click on.
Yeah. So so yes, and once when I saw that, I say, you know, actually, I decided in my heart that I wanna create my own chocolate brand
Mhm.
and be able to transparent the world of the cocoa farmers in Ecuador, and also to be able to make a chocolate that keep the flavor profiles, the innate flavor profiles of our national cacao,
Mhm.
in which they are unique. The floral aroma is something that is exceptional in any of the Ecuadorian chocolates I can say. So I think we are a country that's been blessed with these cocoa beans, and I say, why not um, develop a chocolate brand that it works directly with the cocoa farmers in the country, and also makes the different chocolates from single provinces. Same
Mhm.
thing like the wine. So that's why we do right now. We source our cocoa beans from 4 different provinces in the country.
Cool.
It's Manabi, one of the regions, Los Rios, another one, Pichincha is another one, and the last one is Esmeraldas.
Mhm.
And between those 4 regions, the flavor profiles of the cocoa beans are just totally different, but all of them are floral, all of them are nutty, all of them has its unique characteristics being the same cocoa variety. So it's something that is extraordinary, I will say, and to have the opportunity to be able to make chocolate with our own cacao manufactured all in the country of origin as well. Sorry.
It's all good.
And I feel that the most that we get involved on this is it's being my passion to be able to work with this community of farmers, but also and known everybody that works in that we work with, not only the farmers, but as well the cane sugar
Mhm.
associations, the cocoa butter comes from Ecuador, and some of our chocolates we're going to be talking about as well come actually from the same cocoa beans that we used to make the chocolate. So that's something unique. And even though if we don't use the same butter from the same beans, our butter is Ecuadorian and from cocoa associations as well.
Cool.
So that's the milk. We have one chocolate that has milk as well. As well, we know that the community of the of that produces the milk. So I think this has been something unique and something that we really wanted to kind of showcase to the world. That's how Connection started and why.
Yeah, I mean it's really just a really great journey from your early days to really taking Ecuadorian cacao and then putting it in various different applications and sharing it and sharing that true flavor of the beans with everybody. That's really awesome. Um, so we do have 6 different uh, bars today, and I will just drop one. But all right, so I think we have these guys here.
Yes.
I'll just show them
Hmm.
all one by one. We'll go through because there's like
Yeah.
uh, as well this year, and then we have 3 inclusion bars, which are always fun. Um, so we will taste those later on. But so let's see. Which one do you want to do first?
All right. So to be able to taste Conexión, I think we have to understand how we make the chocolate and why as well. Why do we do this way? So as I say in the beginning, we're here to showcase the flavor profile of the cocoa beans.
Yeah.
So we don't want to add any additives or any flavors in our chocolate. So that's why we actually created, we're very careful. We're very careful in the post-harvest. As we all know, chocolate flavor is developed in, of course, for genetics, of course, for the geographical part of the earth, but also because of the work that we do in the post-harvest. So in this case, we develop this type of different roasting styles, starting from this flash roasted to light roasted, medium roasted, and dark roasted. This with the only intention to be able to keep the chocolate, the cocoa beans as close as it is as at the beans. So this minimally processed or flash roasted chocolate is our 70%. So I think we can start from this one and be able to understand actually why this one tastes like this. I think it's important to understand the process of how this chocolate is being made. And how we do is, you know, a regular, in our case, our post-harvest usually take 4 days of fermenting the cocoa beans, and it could take 6 days, 5, 6 days on the drying process until we're able to get the humidity on our beans.
With water all over.
You're excited to taste it, Glenn.
I am. My desk now.
All
right. All right. So
yes.
we start.
So in this case,
yeah, go.
Yes. So yeah. So in this case, actually the post-harvest is extended. We try to lower the humidity of these cocoa beans as low as you can. So for example, let's say that the chocolate that's going to be roasted longer, the humidity we can that we look for is 5 or 6%, while this chocolate that's going to be roasted the less, actually we need to lower the humidity to 2 or 3% the max. So it's an extra work that actually we need to do with the cocoa producer, that it can extend the drying process from 6 to 9 or 10 days sometimes.
Oh, wow, that's a really long time.
Yeah, yes. So, but this allowed us actually to do a flash roasted on this one and be able to keep and develop the flavor profile that we're gonna taste it.
Got it.
So let's do it.
Yeah. So before we get into it, I know that you received this. You have that. So
Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess my screen isn't. It's not showing the right way, right? Like it's like not mirrored correctly. Like you have it perfectly. I don't know my setting.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah. So this is the chocolate tasting guide that I created with Sharon Klein, who is a graphic designer in the chocolate industry. And so we basically put together this really fun approach to taking 4 steps at a time to really fully appreciate the chocolate. So the first step, obviously looking at the chocolate, we have 6 different chocolate bars. We could compare colors as we go through. We want to hear the snap. That's a sign of how well tempered the chocolate is. That's like getting all the cocoa butter fat crystals aligned. So you get the nice shine and the snap that we like and enjoy in chocolate. And then we will, smell the chocolate where we break it to see what are the aromas, what are native to Ecuador that we could pick up or not. And then obviously the last one is to taste the chocolate. And then we have a bunch of different flavors that you're able to, jog your memory. Oh, that's definitely this, so definitely that. And so it'll be fun to experience, what you taste and what I taste. And neither of us are wrong, but I think we have a lot of fun flavor profiles here today. So I'm looking forward to it, and we could follow along. And then I'm not sure if you printed out the chocolate tasting sheet, but
I do.
if you want to, take notes, it's a great opportunity to, you could see, put in which bar, what was the color like? What was the snap like? Was it really loud or really soft? And then what are the aromas and flavors that you've experienced? And then, what's a great conversation pieces like what evoked experiences did you have? Like when growing up, did this piece of chocolate take you back to a moment in time as a child, or a fun event or a trip or something like that with, friends or family? So that's where like putting all these resources together, it kind of brings together, not just eating it, but experiencing it. So I'm super excited. I'm going to be having those on my site soon for people to purchase the physical copies, or you can actually go on my site now and just actually download a protected PDF of it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, with that being said, I have the 70%. Are you ready to go? Take a.
I'm ready.
All right. So far, this is, I would say, like a medium dark brown color. All right. Already, I'm snapping it in. It's like really, really loud. You could hear it all over the world. So the aromas I'm getting is like a deep chocolate note. What are you smelling with it?
Well, uh, for me, it's a little floral in the beginning. For me, it's always, this chocolate always tastes fresh for me. I'm sorry, it smells fresh. And as you say, cocoa also.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
It's a little battery as well in the smell.
Yeah. And this is, so you had it's a 3 ingredient, right? So you have your cocoa beans, your cane sugar, and your butter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the sun is coming.
Yeah.
We discussed before how the sun is going to just shine in my face. Oh, wow. Wow. All right. I'll give you a play-by-play. Right now, it starts off like super floral, like you're just having like eating flowers basically in a very good sense. And then after a little bit, you get like a little fruity note, like a red fruity note, a little bit of acidity, and then a little bit of earthiness too. But it's like a bold flavor profile. It just like hits you, and like it lingers, and like you just like move along that journey with it.
That's right. So I wanted to hear what were you tasting, but
Yeah.
that's exactly what this chocolate is. It tastes like and was kind of made to taste. So we wanted, as I say, to keep it as closest as possible as the cocoa bean.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is super fresh. Actually, for most of what you taste in the chocolates, usually the most part of chocolates will taste more cocoa flavor, and as well some you know, nuttiness or kind of dry fruits. This one actually is totally opposite.
Yeah.
So this one is super fresh, and if you had the opportunity to smell maybe a fresh cocoa pulp, or actually being in the cocoa fermentation boxes, this one actually reminds you to that. So my goal and my objective with this chocolate was to make a chocolate that actually keeps the freshness of the cocoa pulp on it. So
Mm.
that's what it is in this chocolate. But as well, being able to maintain the floralness of the Nacional cacao, and of course, the floralness will be expressing in different ways. So
Mm.
in this case, it's more fresh. We have a comment from many of our customers that that the flowers that they smell in this one is kind of lavender, for
But
example. Other people think like it's like jasmine, like, you know, they, it's gonna always be identified some kind of fresh fruits or fresh pear or fresh notes, but at the end it's always gonna stay in your palate and look like it also is a little tanninic at the end.
yeah, yeah.
So you know, it's a great pair actually with a young wine, this chocolate.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this, so the cacao for this one, did it come from a specific region? Like, did you blend multiple regions, or is this from a specific region?
Yes. So this one comes, all the chocolates that we made is actually from single regions. And this one
Mm.
comes from a region called Los Rios. So
Okay.
Los Rios is one of actually our main regions in the country where we find trees of more than 100 years old. And they still keep the national cacao varieties from centuries in this case. And it's amazing because they still have agroforestry cocoa plantations in this area, which makes very important in the development of the flavor profiles. Something really cool of this cocoa is that if you're familiar with HCP, Heirloom Cacao Preservation, the this organization or association is called Apovinces, and actually they have the HCP designation. This
Awesome.
cocoa has the HCP designation. So it's very cool because we are working and collaborating with HCP in Ecuador in the development of special cocoa varieties
Mhm.
and over there. So we're very excited. Actually, these cocoa beans as well also won the Cocoa of Excellence
Oh, nice.
in 2015. So as you can see, it's I think super easy to make chocolate with good cocoa beans.
Yeah. All right. How about we go to
Yeah.
the next one? So this is the, you want to do the medium roast?
Yes. This is the medium roast. So this is super cool as well because we're gonna be able to taste the differentiation in roasting styles.
All right.
Yeah, this cocoa, this chocolate, it's again 70% is a medium roast, and I have to say that, well, so far we have 14 chocolate bars, and the 14 chocolate bars have won awards in the Academy of Chocolate or the International Chocolate Awards. And this one especially has two awards, one in the Academy and one in the International Chocolate Awards.
Nice. Right.
So it's super cool. And this one comes from a different region.
Okay. So
This one comes from Manabi.
Manabi. Okay. Great.
Manabi is a region close to the ocean.
Mm.
Yes.
All right. So it's a three ingredient chocolate. So comparing the color, it is a little bit lighter in color. Let's see. This is the one we're going to taste now. You can see how
Mm-hmm.
it's a couple of shades lighter brown wise. The snap is pretty loud, which is a good sign. I always want your chocolate to speak to you. All right. Let's see.
This is really cool. You know, even on the cocoa beans of this chocolate, if you see the beans, the cocoa beans from Manabi are lighter than
Okay.
the beans.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of cocoa notes. A little bit of, I don't know. I can't smell that well right now.
Well, if you are able to crack that half, that piece in half, I
Yeah.
think you are gonna be able to even feel more aromas there immediately.
Let's try this piece. Oh yeah, now I'm getting like a floral note.
Yes.
There we go.
I
Need
was
a bigger
going to
piece.
say the same thing on the first one, but you already put it in your
Yeah.
mouth. So
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Cheers.
cheers.
Hmm. All right. So it's definitely not floral as this first one. There's a lot more. I'm getting it's like earthy note, but it's also like a bunch of like red fruit. It's like a mix of like, wow. Yeah, that was like a fruity journey with some like earthy notes to it.
Yes. So again, I'm happy that you were able to speak first. And let's say like it's super cool because it's the first time actually that I think you're tasting my chocolate.
Mm.
So that's exactly what we try to do with this chocolate. If you're able to see on the box, it says exotic red fruits and goody.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so as I say, you know, we're trying again to keep the flavor profiles of the cocoa beans. And even though this one is medium roast, you
Hmm.
still feel a fresh chocolate. It's not,
Yeah.
you know, again, super nutty and, you know, more cocoa flavor. It still has the freshness of the cocoa bean, of the cocoa in this one.
Hmm.
But yes, in this. So the difference of between these two is that you feel fruits as well, but as well you feel you smell flowers as well. But in this one, while it kind of, you know, tends to be like lavender or like you know, white flowers as well, this one is red. Like I always say, like for me, it's like having like a red bouquet of flowers.
Yeah.
and and also it's super cool because you actually can taste in this one red fruits.
Hmm. Yeah.
So you know, it's like a red berries. We tend to it's more like in that side. And also at the end it's a little tanninic too.
Hmm.
So this
Yeah.
one kind of have some goody notes at the end. This chocolate in in our, you know, taste notes.
Hmm.
So yeah, so those I feel are is a clear example of how two different provinces of the same cocoa variety express. And again, like, you know, keeping on it the um, well, so appreciated floral aromas of the chocolate.
Hmm.
I have to say that you know, Conexion actually focus on making chocolate couvertures for specialty chocolatiers,
Yeah.
and it has been a success. These two chocolates or these two lines that we have developed, while again, like, you know, the majority of chocolates are more nutty and more in the dry fruits. Having these with these fresh flavor profiles, the chocolatiers have been able to mix with wines, with whiskeys, champagne, and it just have created a different sector in the market that we are really happy and appreciated as well for with the acceptance of this.
Yeah, it's really awesome flavor journeys. I could see how so many like pastry chefs and chocolatiers could actually use this and apply it in a whole different way from like the normal chocolate notes that they used to in the past work with. But this gives them a new opportunity to add a different flavor profile that people wouldn't even be thinking of, because they, when they get a dessert or a confection, you could add in the you could add chocolate that brings that specific flavor profile and just wow them. And that's what's pretty cool about, that you're using chocolate that is actually, not just the chocolatey notes, but it provides a different dimension to like their repertoire. That's really awesome. It's really
Right.
awesome.
I think what you were at the Salon de Chocolat. We were there. You were there, I think, when the chef from Iron Chef visited our stand.
Yes, yes, yep. Yeah, Elizabeth Faulkner. Yep.
Yes. So it was so cool because I think at the moment we were doing a chocolate tasting.
Yeah,
Some of their friends arrived as well, and they started tasting the chocolate, and they were like, it's a super different chocolate that we really would love to work with. They are tasting right now their chocolate in their recipes, and we're really excited about it.
that's
It's
really cool.
more than anything because we're coming from a single origin chocolate, and
Mhm.
we are new in the market as well. So I know it's a little difficult for the confectionery part to be able to introduce a chocolate that is interesting
Yeah,
in comparison of these great competitors that we have like Valrhona, Felkling, Michel Cluzel. But know that our chocolate is being appreciated
yeah.
for these successful chocolatiers and chefs. So it really makes us, happy. And I say to keep working harder and harder in our standards
Mhm.
for the chocolates. But
So,
so far we've been working. Yeah.
so one question I have for you. So for people who don't know, like when chocolatiers and pastry chefs, they need to work with chocolate, it needs to be more viscous and more free flowing so that they could use it for confections or molding or whatever application. So for you, do you just take, do you like your curvature, is it just like this, or do you add in additional fat to it so that it does have that more viscous texture to it?
Yeah. So they are different, even though the percentages are the same.
Mhm.
But the chocolate for the couverture chocolate has more cocoa butter content.
Mhm.
And as well, we try to keep the same way, only 3 ingredients.
Yeah.
And but we add sunflower lecithin to it.
Okay.
So it has more fluidity. So, but for example, also another thing that we can see is that our chocolate bars are organic certified.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And our couverture, some of them are organic certified. Yes.
Yep.
The chocolate couverture, some of them are organic certified. And the ones that aren't, we're still working with organic practices for to get the cocoa beans. But yes, so coming back to your point, it's super important the fluidity that we have on the chocolates. And it's been a really nice journey. I have to say that I'm really thankful for the fact to have been able to learn about chocolates here in the US chocolate industry and see the collaboration and the support that many of the chocolatiers in the industry actually have given us. Our I have to say partner in the journey has been Jody Hayden from Grocer's Daughter Chocolate. They have been supporting Conexion, supporting me since the beginning of when we started Conexión Chocolate. So we have been developing chocolate recipes, I can maybe say together. And you know, and later we have actually been expanded. Now we have thankfully bonbon chocolates.
Cool.
With Alexandra Clark. Gail Ambrosius is also buying from us. So again, like, you know, it's been a really nice journey with this new concept of chocolate couvertures. Well, I think something maybe unique that is happening right now for us in Ecuador.
Cool. Awesome. So I have one straight up from Esmeraldas.
Yes.
So tell me about this area. There's a little note on the back about the association.
Yes. All right. So as I say in the beginning, you know, Conexión Chocolates wants to be close to the farmers. So we really want to be working with the farmers, be working with the associations, and also to be able to work with them and to help them somehow is that you know, we need to be close, and this close relationship with them has make us understand more clearly the big problem that Ecuador, the cocoa associations, and worldwide actually the farmers and the farms have actually, and I will say the cocoa, because as we know in cocoa plantation, who it's super important the variety that we have, but who is taking care of that variety? So at least in Ecuador, the majority of the cocoa farms are being taken care for these elderly farmers that mostly are over 50 or 60 years old, over than that.
Wow.
And let's just imagine that how hard it's also to be able to take care of a cocoa plantation, or maybe not only a cocoa plantation, but any farm itself. So what you know, what we actually are trying to do with this project is talking with the cocoa producers of these ages, and as well talking with the new generation of farmers. Could be their sons, or could be their grandsons, their family, who is going to inherit the cocoa lands, and create a plan with them and create a project with the cocoa farmers, and as well with the cocoa associations. The objective of this project was to involve the young generation in the agricultural part of the cocoa industry. So a young farmer, if we put our shoes in a young farmer, the young farmers are like, I don't have any interest of being a farmer.
True.
So it's like, I want to explore the world, I want to explore the city, I want to go out. But unfortunately, still this disconnection in the farmers with education. Some of I have to say, maybe even in its majority, sometimes the new generation are still don't go to high school, to colleges. So when they immigrate to to the cities, in this case, they don't have a secure future. They go there to experiment, uh, uh, to take any job that, you know, could make up for some salary, but I still don't create in them a profession. So we totally support if a cocoa farmer goes to the city, because they have found a job that actually has been strengthening their skills, and you know, they're gonna grow personally or professionally, but just to go to explore without having a certain future. So it's a little difficult, not only for them, but at the end for the whole family. And so in this case, what we have to do is that the moment that we agree with the farmer, that I'm sorry, that we understand the number of farmers, at least in this case, that have these ages, and that has also young family involved in the care of the cocoa plantation. So we actually have created a group of 59 young farmers at this point,
Mhm.
from ages 18 to 30 or 35 years old, I think we're now, and talk to the parents as well, or grandparents, and ask them to give them a piece of land.
Mm.
So, but this piece of land has to be given to them legally, meaning that it's not that, you know, something you will say like, okay, give me back. Like, no,
Okay.
this
Yeah.
is yours, kind of, you know, giving their inheritance in advance. So actually, the cocoa farmer, the young farmer, is able to work in the farm. In, let's say, they are able to give them a half of hectare or 1 hectare. So the young farmer has to take care of the land. They have to harvest the land. They have to sell the cocoa beans in the cocoa association that we're working with.
Mhm.
And we buy that cocoa beans and we pay higher price for those cocoa beans, of course, and we make the chocolate with it.
Mhm.
But you know, we wanted to kind of go a farther step than that. We say, okay, how do we support the young farmers
Mhm.
on agriculture? So we actually have a part of this project where some of our funds go to education on in agriculture to the farmers.
Mhm.
So with these 50 young farmers, what we done is that we created a partnership. So it's 50% partnership between the young cocoa farmers and Conexión Chocolate. So meaning that every time that anybody is purchasing one of the young farmers bars,
Mhm.
they are actually getting the 50% of profits for this bar.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yes, so that's we started with this association called UOPROCAE,
Cool. Yes.
and we want, yes, and we actually want to later replicate the same project with the different associations that we work with. And you know, we never know, actually we want to take kind of Ecuador wide and maybe internationally as well.
Cool.
So it's a really cool project, and the most fun part of it is like to taste the chocolate.
Yeah. Yep. So I
Shall
have,
we do it?
yeah. So this one now, looking at all of them, is a little bit darker, I'd say, than the first one. That was the darkest of the two. But you can see this is the one we're gonna have now. And it's a little bit darker. There you go. Hear it around the world.
How is this nap?
Pretty good. Oh wow. So you get um, earthy and floral. It's the theme, Ecuadorian theme. Yeah, I don't even get like a cocoa note. I just get all like fruity and floral. Well, actually, more floral than anything, actually.
In my case, I always like to kind of the square piece, uh, break it in a half,
Yeah.
and this is maybe only what I feel, but for me, it's always that, you know, I get the most flavor profiles at that moment when
Yeah.
I
Break the
when
bigger.
I break the square, yeah, in half.
Yeah, that's because it's when it's small already, it's tough.
Yeah.
It was just quick and easy. Yeah, it's a really nice aroma. All right, I think it's time. Do you want to share first this time?
I want to hear you.
So I'm getting a lot of like earthy notes the entire beginning portion of the journey. It's a little bit more, the mouthfeel is a little bit more fattier. Like there's more cocoa butter to it because it's a 66%. So it's a little bit sweeter, not too much, but the entire journey though, it's like a lot of earthy notes to it. It's like this earthy journey. How about yours?
Yeah. So this one, it's indeed, as I say before, some of our chocolate actually has its own cocoa butter.
Yeah.
So this one is super cool because we do we outsource actually our cocoa factories, and in this one we are working right now with a small cocoa factory. So we decided to work with them because we are able to extract our own cocoa butter from these cocoa beans. This one, it starts from the region where the cocoa beans come from. First of all, the cocoa beans is only from these young cocoa farmers.
Cool.
And later we actually have a special fermentation in this one. So it's still fresh. The cocoa is still fresh, but the cocoa beans from Esmeraldas has more cocoa forward and some banana hints.
Oh.
And actually this one in Esmeraldas, there is in the beginnings, actually the Criollo variety was planted in this area. So the differentiation with these other areas that we've been tasting, Manabi and Los Rios, that they are very citric, with high acid notes or red fruits or green fruits. This one is more cocoa settled flavors. So, and you know, it has also some fruitiness and some flavorness that, for me, the flavor goes to blueberries, actually. The, the aroma on flavors, the aroma and flavors, I'm sorry, goes more to kind of the purple part, but it keeps on it some banana hints and cocoa forward, but it's still, like, you know, has that perfume of on the aroma, and it lingers in your mouth.
Totally getting it now. I'm totally getting
yeah.
But like with the aroma though, because it's all like, oh, the olfactory process is going on, whatever is going on, the aromas of the earthy and the floral notes are so dominant that like my mind doesn't register that there's like a little banana note in there. It's a totally got. People have to like say it, and then you're like, oh wow, totally get that, because you know sometimes we don't eat a lot of the specific fruits or whatever that we're tasting. Like we don't taste a lot of flowers or anything like that on a daily basis, but we may take in those aromas, right? And so whatever we taste is what is representative of what we've experienced in life. But I mean, it's once you like pinpoint and like really concentrate on it, you could really pinpoint like the fruitiness that comes through on those tropical notes. That's really cool. Really cool.
Yes. So it is, as I say, like, you know, of course it comes with the flavor profiles of the cocoa that we start to play with.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, Esmeraldas, it's an area that has a lot of these Criollo Nacional varieties, genetically talking. So it's very cocoa forward. It's one of the areas that is actually most appreciated for the chocolate makers or chocolatiers worldwide. And here is Conexion, of course, trying to break that part. And like, you know, we have so many different flavor profiles in our country that we have to highlight the majority of that we can. We were having one conversation once with John Quijo of Guitar Chocolate,
Yeah.
and John says, you guys actually sometimes take it for granted because of, you know, in its majority of the cocoa beans or chocolates that we taste constantly, we don't feel the flavor aromas. I'm sorry, the floral aromas of the chocolate of these fresh fruits. So in each of your chocolates, you guys have that. So it's you know, it's something special that it makes unique the Ecuadorian cacao. While of course, you know, we have in the world beautiful varieties, but this is the special differentiation of our nacional. So yeah, so that's our special bar. We really love that bar.
It's really
We really try to do things with passion, and this one was one of the you know, more exciting bars that we have been able to develop. We just presented these bars in the Ecuadorian Chocolate Awards that happened last November, and we were able to obtain gold in the 3 bars that we're tasting right now.
Congrats. It's awesome. And I
Yes, thank
did
you.
get a little nuttiness on the end. It's kind of like the after note. It's a little nutty.
Yes,
Check it out.
and that one has a medium roast,
Yeah. So you get
roasting style.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have the 3 inclusion bars that you sent to me. Coconut. We have crunchy banana and passion fruit. So which one should I go with? Because these all are in partnership with the same organization, association of the young cacao farmers. We're using the Esmeraldas. So that's really cool how, you know, you bring it all together. Which one should I start with?
Awesome. Yes. So let's start with coconut.
Okay. Now the sun is coming into my window directly on the chocolate.
All right. So now, if those bars doesn't have a good crack, we know why is that for. They're warm.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So for these chocolates, what is interesting as well, as Conexion, also what we try to do with each of our chocolate is to create an experience. And these chocolate bars are are so cool because besides, you know, working with this cocoa, we are actually also trying to use the fruits that the farmers actually have in that region. So of course this comes from the coast. Esmeraldas really well known for the banana, for the coconut, for the passion fruit, for the mango. So you go in their farms and walking while tasting cocoa, you also go, you know, picking any of these fruits. So coconut is one of their passions and what they love. They actually have a little sweets that they call cocadas that comes from this region. So it's in honor of the cocadas, this chocolate with cocoa. So let's do it.
All right. So yeah, they still pretty decent sound, given that sun is shining on it and on my face. All right. Do you have them with you?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. All right. So as far as the color, I mean, yeah, I think it's still, it's as dark as the Esmeraldas bar. So it's the darkest of all of them, but it's cool. There's pieces of coconut in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's toasted coconut. And let me tell you, we toast the coconut before adding it into the chocolate. So we're
Mhm.
doing the two things at the same time. It's not only coconut, it's not fresh coconut, it's actually toasted coconut.
All right. That's a good point.
All
So it's
right.
a big burst of coconut. All right.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Big aroma of the coconut right when you get it up into your nose.
Uh-huh.
A little bit of banana.
Uh, no wonder why.
I
I
had.
actually put it in my mouth already.
Mm. It complements really well. It's bringing out the flavors, the fruity notes of the Esmeraldas. So it like complements. It's like you do have this, the pieces of the coconut that you're chewing on, but it's also you're like having like a tropical burst of banana in there too. That's really nice. And I like coconut
These
too.
are yeah. So it was kind of I have to say that before doing these bars, the inclusion of these bars, we actually do at least 30 tastings, like with different ingredients. So it's like quite of a job to be able to become with this. And for us, it was more trying to again transmit what of these young farmers wanted in their chocolate bars. And I love cocoa. It's one of my favorite fruits again. And like, having these cocadas that comes from Esmeraldas, for me was just something very representative from that region. And
Mhm.
it had really nice impact with the people. I feel that also people don't really know what to expect. Of course, maybe just having, the reaction of the coconut in your mouth. But
Mhm.
I have to say that as we want to create an experience, so we want to connect the five senses or the most majority of the senses that we can. So in this case, you keep the crunchiness of the toasted coconut, plus the aromas of the chocolate itself, and it ends up or lingers, the chocolate itself mixed with the cocoa flavor. So
Yeah.
it's really cool. It's a different type of chocolate that it's very unique as well, and for us has a really nice intention, which is a representation of the bar.
Yeah. It's a good combo. Very good combo. So what's the next
All right, so let's go
profile?
with crunchy banana.
Oh, okay. Crunchy banana. How do you prepare your bananas to be crunchy?
So that's our secret. Do I have to share that?
All right. Well,
Hmm, no.
good enough.
So what do we do
Um,
again is that actually we sent to a company in Ecuador, with not a company, it's more like an oh, and I'm sorry, I forget the word in English. Yep. So there are entrepreneurs. Uh, let's see.
You can see that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and just smell it.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah. So these guys are actually starting to dry. Are starting its own project of drying fruits. So we harvest the bananas or the coconut or the passion fruit in Esmeraldas, and we send to them for drying. And you know, they actually also help us to pulverize. In this case, it's a little bit more pulverized, or you know, cut it very thin. And yeah, so that's how we get, and then we bring it to the factory, and then you know, we mix it.
Cool.
Yeah, just give me 1 second.
Oh, you need to still open it. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So the color is the same again.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's from the same 66%, but over here.
Yeah, and the heat's getting to my chocolate already. It's getting all over
Chocolate.
me.
Okay, but
Meltdown.
listen, it has.
Yeah. So you get a banana aroma. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wow. Mm. Uh-oh. Wow. So there was a lot of banana going on, which is great. You do get the texture element of the pulverized bananas, and it's like it's definitely crunchy. And then there are some pieces that aren't like that super crunchy. So you're like, oh wow, this is like a banana sandwich right now. Like, I'm eating, but it's really nice.
Yes. So it's really cool because again, banana is also one of their, you know, banana grows in all the coast in Ecuador. So especially the cocoa farmers actually maybe eat green plantains or bananas every day. So it's one of their everyday food and products, and we really needed to put it in there. But we wanted to make something cool, and again to play with the texture.
Yeah.
And the chef actually that works with us, Mario Remache, is actually our partner right now, and he is specialized in creating and developing Asian food. Sushi is his specialty. So he always liked to play with flavor profile. And he's like, you know, we really want to have a combination of something that is crunchy, something that, you know, will still add and will linger until the end in your mouth, but that balance everything. So we want to highlight the flavor profile of the chocolate, and as well the flavor profile of the fruit, but we want them to have a balance. We don't want anyone to win over there. It's like the right marriage on it.
Yeah.
So that's what you feel over here.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, as I keep like opening up my mouth, the aromas of the back end like aromas of the chocolate, like that like floral note it just keeps flowing through. So it's like, it's not predominant, but it's still there. Like you're getting the banana experience, and then you're moving along, and then it's just, you know, oh wow, there's still that like noted Ecuadorian, like I got you. This is Ecuador. Like this is Esmeraldas. This is like this chocolate.
Yeah.
Now right there. That's really nice. It's a really cool experience. It's kind of like a
Right. Yeah.
like it reminds me of like a puffed rice type of thing going on. Like
Right.
the way that the are, you know, in their way
Yeah.
laid out.
And
It was nice.
thank you so much. I'm excited every time that I hear these comments because you know, I feel that we're trying to achieve what we want to create.
Yeah.
So
this
now
last one is the passion fruit.
Yes, the most excited comes right now.
Oh, all right. So let's see. Passion fruit in here. All right.
Passion fruit.
You know, passion fruit, I see a lot of infections.
Oh,
Whoa, where'd you go?
I'm sorry. I'm here.
That's all right. We'll have a blooper reel.
Yeah.
You talking.
A blind tasting we had that moment.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. All right. So this is a so still with the same Esmeralda 66%.
Mm-hmm.
Check this out. I'm gonna do this again because it's so you can see.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of specks of. Is this just like the passion fruit is, you know, crystallized?
No, actually, it's not crystallized. It's just you know, just dry again. But we try to dry it as much as possible. Try to lowering the humidity of the passion fruit again. So we're actually able to blend again, as I say in the beginning. Like, you know, we need to blend. As you saw, our crunchy banana is blend. The coconut is still a little bigger pieces, so you can feel it on it. But now the passion fruit again is blended. It's kind of pulverized again because
yeah, totally.
we wanted, you know, in every piece of the chocolate be able to taste the flavor profiles of
it. All right, I'm already smelling the passion fruit. Mm. Wow. All right. Mm. Oh wow. So that's like it's a whole different experience than all of these. It's a little bit more acidic, right? Because of the tartness. I don't know. Do you want to call it tartness of the passion fruit? But like I guess, is it like the seeds that crunch? There's like a crunchiness that goes throughout the entire bar experience. And still going on, like I'm still crunching after the fact. But it's like a with the tasting of the passion fruit. I don't get unless maybe I'm just focusing on the passion fruit to get that flavor. I didn't get a lot of the other, like the backbone notes. So I think I need to try it again while you talk.
Yeah. Well, you got just the right things. So this one has a lot of maracuya, passion fruit. Maracuya is in Spanish. So this one has a lot of
Okay.
passion fruit on it. It is, it's a powerful chocolate that, like, you feel the passion over there, but it's balanced as well with the chocolate itself. But yes, the passion fruit is, it's there, so you can definitely feel it.
Mhm.
And actually, it wants you. It makes you want more. It's there, but like, I want more of this one.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's
And
cool. It's different experience, as you say before.
yeah, there's so like the acidity is just it is like having is like really bold passion fruit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't really get a lot of the subtleties of the other one, but because of passion fruit has its bold flavor,
Mm-hmm.
it's uh, a unique experience for somebody who enjoys passion fruit. Um, I think the texture is also really interesting. How you just have those bits going. Like there's a lot on here, so
Mm-hmm.
through the entire melting process, like they're all over the place. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, the farmers do have a
Yeah. So
really great you know showcase of what they're doing out in Esmeraldas, which is really awesome to see. So what obviously you as the maker, you're working with everybody on the out in Ecuador and all that. What's your favorite? Like, what was your favorite of these bars? I'd like to hear what you think is the favorite, because I know what I think the favorite would be from if I was in your shoes, but I'd like to hear what you have to say on that.
all right, that's a tricky question. No. Well,
No.
no. Um, I like to put a lot of passion in every chocolate that we do. That, but of
Mhm.
course, everybody has its own favorites. And for me, my favorite is this one.
Okay.
One of my favorites. I will tell you one from the young bar and one from this one. But I think as a new chocolate maker that it's uh, being introduced in the market, I just my dream was just again to kind of develop a chocolate that has the flavor profile of the cocoa beans in the chocolate,
Mhm.
and be able to kind of eh, stand out for the quality of the chocolate. In
Mhm.
Conexion started because we wanted to serve the food service industry.
Mhm.
So this, having this chocolate as a coverture in, having this big success with the chocolatiers, it really made me, I will say kind of proud in a good sense of the job that we're doing it. And being able to understand that the people is getting it what I actually wanted to represent in the chocolate bar. So that's, I wanted to taste it first and hear your thoughts about it. And when you just describe it as, that bar was created to be, is like, yes, it's what we're able to get it. So yeah, so this 70% is my favorite. It keeps there the cocoa pulp of the flavor of the cocoa beans.
Mhm.
And yeah, and
Mhm.
from the yam bar, it's passion fruit.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I mean, I didn't expect you to actually pick out one. I usually say like whenever I made my chocolate years ago with Glen made. I had 6 different origin bars and all that, and somebody would say, "What's your favorite?" I'm like, I don't have a favorite. They're all like really good because like I
Yeah.
create like my own. the personality from the beans, and that's what's really cool as
Mhm.
here to do that. Um, so I think I'd have to like, I always say like my favorite chocolate depends on my mood. And I really liked both of these. I really like both of these. Just because like this one was your like your typical flavor profile for Ecuador, but it was like a bold flavor profile that it had like everything in it. And this one had like the fruity notes that like on a certain day, like I like to have fruity notes in my chocolate, other than like other days when I like nutty notes in chocolate, and like
Right.
it depends on my mood, um, but I would definitely lean towards this one as like this is like if you want to say what like you're all about, I'd say like one of these two, like any day would say like this is Conexion, right? This is your really awesome um, like profiles of you bringing out the personalities of that cacao, like you're what you've been saying the entire time here. I do like this bar though. Um, as far as I'm really happy to hear that these young cacao farmers are actually stepping into their own, like they're really working on like producing a really great cacao for us to use and for you to showcase around, and for countless chocolatiers and pastry chefs who are working with chocolate to actually say like young cacao farmers, the next generation, like this is something that's going to go on for decades and generations. Who knows where this will lead to? And this is where people like you in the industry are doing that, and that's like really really important for the sustainability of the entire Ecuadorian cacao. Um, as far as the flavors go, if I had to pick one, if you had like a chocolate gun to my face, and I had to pick one, um, that's a tough one. It's definitely between the coconut and the banana. I think I like the coconut more because you had the coconut and the banana in it. So it really melded itself together, complemented each other. The passion fruit, I think it was the lingering seeds in my mouth was like, okay, I had enough of that. Okay, where to go? There.
Where is the chocolate?
Yeah. But I liked how those two, mostly the toasted coconut. I'd say like that's my favorite one, because the complementing was like really really present there. Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I think everybody has its favorites.
yeah,
Again, like since we actually launched the new collection
hmm,
that we're coming soon with a nice packaging, so that people can actually get the collection of it.
sure.
You know, I have to say that Passion Fruit is one of the best sellers.
Oh wow, nice. Okay.
Yes, so
Cool.
it's everybody has its favorite, but what is
Mhm.
super cool for us is that it happens what you just say, like this one is
Still tasting some passion fruit in my mouth.
that's cool. Like as I say, like what we want is to say to people, like, oh yeah, like I like this one, but this one as well, but this other one too. So and chocolate is, as you say, for me it's also the same. It's like in the mood that you are at the moment. I think we really again have put a lot of love and a lot of passion in developing each of the bar. So it's for everybody out there to kind of choose in what they really want, what they really feel like that day. But we just got it 2 weeks ago, and a chocolate, the gathering of the organization in Esmeraldas. And for first time, we were able to be there with the chocolate, with the new generation bar, with more than 200 cocoa farmers, their grandparents, the parents, the grandsons, the babies, and we were able to give them to taste their own chocolate. And it's still unbelievable, even though we entire the craft chocolate community now is trying to bring the chocolate to the cocoa farmers so they can actually taste their chocolates, the chocolate that's made with their cacao beans.
Yeah.
And it's still unbelievable for us to see that, you know, between those 200 farmers that we put together over there, I will say maybe the 5% have tasted their chocolate.
Wow.
The chocolate again that's made with their cocoa beans. And for us, we feel that there is it's only the beginning. It's only the beginning of what Conexion is doing of trying to get very involved with the cocoa farmers. Sometimes people think that we're actually a cocoa ingredient chocolate company, but that we sell cocoa beans
Yeah.
because we're really, you know, all the times in the cocoa plantations. But for us, it is the core of what we do. We really want, again, to kind of leave that seed for the new generation of companies as well, where we understand that the most important part of the whole industry is the sustainability of the people first, because without people, without the farmers, we can't have anything else. Like we as a country can have a really nice cocoa varieties, but if we don't have anybody taking care of it, we're gonna lose it. So
Yeah.
that's why we're really focused on the people. The other part that we're really pushing in Ecuador is the education. So
Yeah.
we can have farmers, and the farmers can still be doing the work that they have been doing for years. But if they haven't been able to get more understanding or more education of how to improve their plantations, or how to take care of them in a better way, or maybe understand that there are other ways that they can actually improve their crops, they're not going to be able to do it because they are still living over there
Yeah.
without getting information from outside. So because of this, as Conexión Chocolate, we also have partnered with associations that are also focused on the sustainability of the cocoa beans of the farmers and itself the industry of the fine chocolate. So to create this event that's called the Cacao and Chocolate Summit.
Mm.
So we did this year the first event in Ecuador, and it was done in May. So we have the collaboration of the university, the one NGO called Recolto, and the Ministry of Agriculture in Ecuador, and ourselves. So we put this event together with the only objective of transparenting the cocoa supply chain in Ecuador,
Mm.
but highlighting this time the main actors of the industry, which are the cocoa producers. And it was a very nice and successful event where we were able to put together in only one day more than 33 institutions that are in the industry, from the local, actually the government, the cocoa exporters, the chocolate makers, the chocolatiers. We have the presence of Carla Martin at that moment in the country, and different actors like INIAP. INIAP is the Center of Genetic Investigation in the country. And we were able to gather many institutions as well to be able to share their knowledge and share their experiences. And we had panels of the best chocolatiers as well in the country, together with the cocoa farmers for first time, sharing everybody's experience and talking of what's important for each of them.
Cool.
And we put together more than 300 people in one day.
Wow. Great.
So we really felt that it was successful again, and it was accessible for everybody. And with the same goal, this year we're working in a next Cocoa and Chocolate Summit
Okay.
for 2020. But this next year is going to be in partnership with the FCIA.
Cool.
So the Fine Chocolate Industry Association has partnered with us to be able to be part of this very exciting movement in the industry in Ecuador, with the goal as well to be able to expand it to South America and to Latin America. So if you have more interest in, or anybody has interest on learning about the Ecuadorian cocoa, the industry, and how we are moving forward for the next generations, and who is behind your chocolates, and please join us. It's going to be on May 28 and 29. And after that, we're going to have 5 days of visits to cocoa plantations.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And yeah, so we're going to be connected through chocolate there.
So send me a note on that, or do you have a website or something? I'll leave a link below the video where this will be posted on YouTube and Facebook. I'll get the information from you so that people want to see it, they can go to the link and find out more. Definitely would like to read more for it for myself as well, to see if that's a feasible trip. But it does sound like a really great opportunity to connect everybody together. Conexión, connection.
Yes.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds really great. And I know everybody at FCIA, they really do want to make these connections and partnerships. And the trips are always really great opportunities to do that. I think, we're almost like an hour and a half in or something like that. But I think, really great. Yeah, it's been a really great time talking with you and listening and learning about so much about the Ecuadorian cacao scene. So for everybody who may not know who you are and may not have tasted your chocolate, where can they find you on social media?
Right. So in social media, we are in Conexión Chocolate. We have our Instagram, Facebook page, but we in the US we sell online. For anybody that's in the US. We ship internationally from Ecuador to different countries also. And if you are in New York area, mostly we are in different stores like the Meadow, we are in Garden of Eden, we are in Two Beans as well. And yeah, different stores over here. And for the chocolate, chocolatiers, chocolate couvertures, we actually ship all our chocolate couvertures from the from Michigan.
Okay.
So yeah, we have the chocolate available for anybody that's ready to kind of taste the new flavors, get new experience with Conexion.
Great. Yeah. So obviously go to ConexionChocolate.com and check out all their information, grab some bars, have them shipped to you. If you're in the city, New York City, that is, go visit, go grab a bar, go try, have your experience of Ecuador and the flavors and profiles, and then let us know what your favorite flavors were, because Jenny is so excited about that all the time. But yeah, so I think we could wrap up. For myself, chocotastery.com. There's a bunch of new information on my website. I just revamped it. If you go to chocolatetasting.com, chocotastery.com/chocolate-tasting-resources. You could download the tasting guides that we were using this morning into this afternoon. And so there's a lot of cool things going on my end. We'll be at the, are you guys actually going to be going to San Francisco in March for the craft chocolate experience?
We are trying to to that one, but we're going to be at the Fancy Food Show this January. We're
Yeah.
going to be in the FCIA
All right.
pavilion.
Cool.
So
Awesome.
we look forward to see everybody out there. And I know we're wrapping up this, but I just have to say that Glenn, what you created with this, it's really amazing because it really facilitates the understanding of tasting any new chocolate. And as the other chocolate, as the other industry like the wine or olive oil or cheeses, I think majority of people are familiar with it. But for chocolate, we're still new, we're still trying to understand, and this is a really cool and super easy tool for anybody to understand. And it's so cool, so we're definitely using this at Conexion also.
Totally. Totally. Awesome. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up for us. I want to thank you again for joining. We should totally do this again. Maybe get some other bars once you have others. Whenever there's a new update, let's get together and do another one of these. And maybe talk more about the young farmers and what they're working on. That's really cool to see the youth of the um, cacao farmers coming to their own. So it's really cool. So Jenny, I want to thank you. Thank you for everybody who stopped by on Facebook. We haven't really looked at any of the comments, but what we'll do is afterwards we'll just reply back to any that were left. I want to thank you all for joining, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. Bye,
Thank
Jenny.
you and happy holidays to everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Glenn. Bye bye.